what did we find? Remember the superpower analogy. So it turns out for value added, or student achievement gains, its superpower is predictive power. So if you're trying to identify which teachers are most likely to have success when working with another group of students, the measure that has the greatest predictive power among these three is value added. But a weakness, or a relative weakness, is reliability. Value added measures bounce around from year to year. Now you might say, how is that consistent? Well, if value added didn't bounce around from year to year, if it was 100% reliable, it would be 100% predictive. The fact that it bounces around some from year to year means it's not 100% predictive. And potential for diagnostic insight with value added is very low. It's just telling you whether things are going up or things are going down. It's not telling you what you might do differently to try to change your practice. So potential for diagnostic insight is value added's kryptonite. Okay, so student survey. One of the surprising things, and this was a surprise for us, so student survey does have medium predictive power, not as high as value added, but substantial. But among the measures we looked at, it was the most reliable. Now, when I started, I wouldn't have said, oh yeah, that's what we're going to find. Student achievement, the student survey here is going to be the most reliable measure you have. But in retrospect, it actually makes some sense, because remember, what were the two main sources of lower reliability in the observation? One was judgment, right? So any individual child is not going to be as good a judge, or won't be as reliable as a well-trained adult. But you got 35 of them, not just 4 or 1. So the power of averaging helps. And the second, remember, the second source of reliability challenge was lesson-to-lesson variation. So even if you do 4 different observations, you're in there for 4 days in the year, whereas the youth are there for 180 days. So what we found was actually that what the students are saying about a given teacher is more consistent across different groups from section to section than many of the other measures we look at. Okay, third, the observation has predictive power, as we saw from the earlier graph, but it's lower than it is for the student survey or the value-added measure. Reliability could be medium or high depending upon the number of observations you do. If you do 4 or 5 observations, each by a different observer, then you're going to be more in the range of where the student surveys are. But if you do less than that, it'll be medium. Now, the superpower for the observation is a potential superpower, and that is this potential for diagnostic insight. Because the observation, because it's based on a trained professional going in to do an observation, if that person is doing it with accuracy and reliability and is well trained, there's a much higher potential that the professional, the teacher, will take that feedback and try to work on some things.